And there I was the girl from Suits.
This one's wife. More grift boxes, but it is not working. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. When does this one's wife use Instagram? Well, you might think it's whenever there's a day with Y in it, but actually, it's whenever her narcissism deems that it's appropriate for her to utilize social media in order to get to the destination that is Destination Prime aims. Yes, I told you she wouldn't be able to resist it, and now it's becoming a daily diet of self-absorbed nonsense with regard to either her showing a video in which she appears in the garden or in the kitchen, or showing off what other people have posted in relation to her on their Instagram account, which demonstrates what a basic individual she is, because not only does she go and look on these people's Instagram or invites them to send it to her, she then feels the need to share that with her audience. It's like a child, in effect, coming home from school and saying, Mummy, look what I made today. Oh, that's very good. I'll put it in the cupboard with all the other stuff that we'll never look at again. But with this one's wife, she wants to jump up and down until you notice her, because she is so important. She matters, you see. And thus, there is the daily diet of banal conformity as we receive yet again a reminder of the Duchess of Industrial Beige. If you can bear it, here's the latest offering that appears on her Instagram by virtue of another story or reel, whatever it's called. And it's got one thing in common. This one's wife's dull effort that is as ever. Take a look.
Best surprise of the day as ever. I'm so excited for this. Olympia, you like this?
What?
Look. It's jam. Oh my gosh, crepes. Oh, my tea. You know I love my tea. The one you drink and the one I serve. Thanks.
What is that?
A jam
It's jam
from the Duchess.
from the Duchess.
Yes.
You want to eat some?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go eat some. Can you say preserves?
For you.
So what is it?
For you.
Preserves.
I'm going to eat them.
You ready to eat it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready to eat it.
All right, let's go.
More grift boxes. This time, Serena Williams, we know who she is, the tennis superstar, has received one. And despite her proclamation about it being a marvellous surprise or words to that effect, she sounds about as enthused as if she has been invited to dinner at this one's wife to hear her practice one of her mind-numbing, glass-eye, sleep-inducing speeches. She shows off the items which we've all seen before, so you're now being shown a rich person receiving a grift box containing shortbread cookie mix, a keepsake box with a jar of red slop in it, a crap mix, some guinea pig food, and an assorted set of teas. You've seen them before, you'll see them again, and Serena Williams sounds as jaded as I do. Next we have Mindy Weiss. No idea who she is, but apparently she's an event planning author. No doubt this one's wife has been stealing tips from her. She presents each item as if she was in some kind of game show. Absolutely fascinating. She set it to some kind of jaunty piano music. I couldn't be bothered with it, so I got rid of it. We also have Chef Roy Choi. We only know about him as a consequence of the fact that he appeared in With Love, Megan, and he shows the items. There's no commentary. Presumably he couldn't muster up any enthusiasm. Somebody called Siobhan Ewell. I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation. No idea who she is, but apparently she's something to do with crafts and food and art. I found her on Pinterest, utilizing Google. She ropes in, presumably, her daughter, who first of all declares that it's jam and it's the stuff at the dentist. So I think what she's thinking of, this clever little girl, is thinking, isn't it like the pink stuff that you swill and rinse your mouth out with after you've been to see the dentist? Well, it's about the same consistency as that, and also deserves to go down the drain. Siobhan attempts to get her daughter to say preserves. It'd be far easier to get her to say spread, because that's what it is. It is neither jam nor preserve. But nevertheless, we get another unveiling. And then we also receive a still that's provided by somebody called, I think, Elsie Lohan, or Lohan. I'm not sure. I'm not that interested either. Who apparently is a writer and podcast host. Maybe she's going to appear on This One's Wife's program, and she simply writes, "Congrats at This One's Wife and at Seva Official. I'm always thrilled about a baking shortcut." Well, it certainly is, because you might as well bake it yourself for all of the shortcut that it really provides. Anyway, that's what everybody is getting. And what all of these individuals undoubtedly have in common, even though some of them I haven't heard of, is that they are fairly well-known, in some instances very well-known individuals, receiving yet more grift boxes. It's nothing new. This One's Wife did it with the jam scam last year. These are somewhat better presented than that. At least there's no lemons and wilting foliage. But it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because all she's exhibiting is that she is sending materials, her product, to people that she knows, invariably well-off individuals who aren't the people that actually would be buying this stuff. That's the problem. Furthermore, it doesn't work because while she's trying to generate publicity, This One's Wife already has that. We've known about As Ever for some time. We've known about what the products are. We've known, for instance, that you can't get the jam. We've known, the honey rather. We've known about her saying that jam is my jam. We've been aware that for some time this has been on its way, that it was meant to be linked into her cooking program. So she's had lots of publicity because this is an overexposed woman who regularly appears in the newspapers, and nearly every publication, broadcast news, the media, magazines, social media, has made reference to this brand. Some complimenting it, many ridiculing it. So she's not short on publicity. I think most people, even tribes people in the Amazonian rainforest, would say, yes, we've heard about As Ever. Wish we hadn't, but we do. We have heard about it. But the problem is, publicity doesn't translate into making This One's Wife a billionaire. What she needs is not publicity in terms of awareness about this product, but something that makes you want to buy it. Now, there are, to my mind, 3 things that might compel you to purchase a product. The first is that you really like the person who's selling, and you admire them, you have an affinity with them, and therefore you might be, I don't really need it, but I want to support this person's work because I really like who they are. The problem with that is that this one's wife doesn't have a huge amount of supporters, certainly not enough or wealthy enough that are going to make her a billionaire. And most people are either not interested in her or certainly would not purchase anything from her range because they don't like her. So her unpopularity is going to prevent many people from making a purchase. The second reason that people might buy it is because they're buying into the lifestyle of the seller. I want to be glamorous like this person. If I wear this perfume like Scarlett Johansson, I'll smell like her. Isn't that wonderful? But with this, what are you being invited to purchase? Overpriced goods that you could find in your local supermarket, which would be of a better quality and less expensive. This isn't a particularly glamorous lifestyle at all. Tea, spread, cookie mix, crepe mix, and some guinea pig food. That isn't glamorous. So there's not really a lifestyle brand here that you would buy into. The third aspect would be it's something that I want. And here, presumably you would want it because it's delicious and it's tasty. But the problem is, we're not really getting that from these videos. What you see, for the most part, is, oh look, I've received a gift box. I've promised this one's wife that I'll post something about me receiving it. But how many of these individuals do you see actually using it? We've seen previously that somebody apparently used the crepe mix. We'll have to take their word from it. And the spread was used by the child of somebody, I forget the name. But beyond that, we're not seeing lots of people utilising the spread and going, this is absolutely delicious, or showing them cooking the cookies or the crepe mix. Instead, what's being sent out by this one's wife is a Grift box, which is then shown again and again and again by people receiving it. We get it. You've got some Grift boxes. We know what's in it. But is it any good? Now, some of these famous people or people known to this one's wife express their enthusiasm, but enthusiasm for the receipt of the product doesn't equate to it actually being something that you would like to digest yourself. And the problem is that so far, when other individuals have tested it, namely not people selected by this one's wife, the outcome has not been good. I explained yesterday in relation to the sickly sweet and lacking substance as tried by the Daily Mail. And the New York Post had some of its journalists testing it. And their headline read, "The Post taste tests this one's wife's acidic as ever jam, janky cookies and bland tea." I'm not going to go through the entirety of the article, which has various videos of various stuffers from the New York Post. But, for instance, the cookies were described as brittle, insipid, and void of flavour. It has the consistency of a hockey puck and the flavour of a hockey puck. The shortbread was described as, "I've tried a lot of shortbread cookie mixes out of a box and I'm always disappointed. I'm not disappointed with these, but the cookies were time and labour intensive, requiring an hour in the fridge and 2 sticks of butter." The sweetness level of the runny fruit spread was described, and the editor said it has a really high acid profile, making it completely unenjoyable. The flour sprinkles were described as dull and too small to lend any legitimate pop of colour. Accordingly, it wasn't a glowing endorsement of the products by the New York Post, and this is why it's not working. The only reason that you're going to buy these things is if you're a supporter of this one's wife. There aren't that many, and they're not going to make her a billionaire. You're not going to buy into the lifestyle brand because there isn't one really. And thirdly, the only other reason would be that it's quality products that taste really good, and they're not. First of all, this one's wife's cronies aren't actually telling us much about what they taste like. They're just talking about their enthusiasm for, looking forward to trying this. But for all we know, the Grift box might be given to charity or is thrown in the bin. There's only been a couple of people that have purportedly used the products. And where we've had actual reviews, they've not been favourable. This demonstrates that this one's wife is useless when it comes to business, that she thinks that by sending out her Grift boxes to some of her pals, this will then mean that people will go, ooh, I want one too. Well, other than members of the Sussex squad, nobody else is interested. And therefore, it shows how she doesn't understand the way that business works, how she doesn't understand the necessity of creating something that people feel that they need or they'll want. And she's not hitting home on either of those things. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.